right, we're live. Game 3, Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time, episode 106. I'm your dungeon master, Jeremy, and I am joined by 4 wonderful players this evening. So, before we dive into our adventure, let's take a minute and just say hello to everybody. First and foremost, we have returning character Morgoth, the tiefling of eternal pain and suffering. Morgoth, how are you?
I'm in a state of eternal pain and suffering. God.
But Morgoth, we've had so many good times together, so many good adventures, so many triumphs and successes, and
Only because it makes me unique, not like all those other conformists. God.
I'm not even sure I understand. But Morgoth, how have you been? What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
I've been brooding in my lair, of course.
Holy shit, you have a lair?
Well, kind of. That's what I call it anyway.
What's the lair like?
Listen, it's my lair, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get off
I
my
didn't realize
back.
that was a personal question. My bad, Morgoth. I apologize. Well, Morgoth,
God.
you know what? I guess you're just gonna have to come in and do a nice day's work, and hopefully that will, bring up your spirits a little bit. So, some success.
As long as I can bring my diary. I write in it in my own blood, which is black, by the way.
Because you're a tiefling and tieflings have black blood?
It's because my blood is infused with all my pain and suffering. God.
All right, Morgoth. Well, welcome. I hope you have a great time. I hope you have a great time.
Of course you would say that. God.
Our next hero this evening is the one, the only, Spider's Emissary, Sereina Nathvano. Sereina, how are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Sereina, I've noticed something that's kind of been bothering me a little bit, actually, and I just wanted to talk to you about it, just to get your perspective from it. I've been walking around Central City, and I noticed there were a couple of posters up with your face on them, and they were wanted posters.
Oh, silly people. You know, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed it was all it was anti-Spider-Therian propaganda.
Exactly.
Because I mean, it's just they were talking about people being killed in their sleep, and it's just, I mean, it's like such a big city. There are plenty, I'm sure, of murderers in the city. Why do they have to just blame the only Spider-Therian who hangs out there and climbs in people's windows?
I know. Just because I crawl into people's bedrooms at night doesn't mean I'm killing them. I'm just making sure the spiders are safe.
You know what? I completely understand. Speaking of which, I take great care of all of my spiders in my apartment. Incredibly good care. I leave out treats for them. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. Serena, I do have one question I've been meaning to ask you for a while, but I kept forgetting. So you've been a Spider-Therian, so a were-spider, for a long time now. It's been a couple months easily, right?
Yeah.
And before that, you were a drow. Have there been any major behavioral changes you've noticed as a result of this curse? Does it even feel like a curse, or is this just all good?
Definitely not a curse. Firstly,
not a curse. Is that a common misconception?
It is, in fact, actually. Many non-endothropians believe it to be a curse, but it is in fact a gift. Being able to embody this arachnid form is just pure bliss. But there has definitely been some mental changes. Although I've always found myself connected to spiders, it feels as if there's an even deeper connection. Because before it was kind of like a conscious connection. Now it's like a subconscious connection.
Yeah, no, I get that. But nothing bad. Nothing like
No, of course not.
Because
Nothing could be bad.
I've been thinking about it myself, but I'm just not sure. Maybe I'll just give it some more thought.
Yeah. There's many things that are good about it.
Well, also, you know what? I'm really glad to hear that, too. That's been, you know what? I think this is really going to influence my decision in case I want to become a Spider-Therian or not. Welcome back, of course. I hope you have a great adventure. I'm sure this is going to be a fun one.
I agree.
Our next hero this evening, the glittering Avenger, Hiori Glasia. Hiori, how are you doing?
I've been back and fro from the frontier again. I had to drop the car off for.
I was gonna ask if something happened to him.
No,
I noticed your shoulder was strikingly empty of kobold today.
Yeah, I just had to drop him off at Tuk Tuk, and then I got a sight. A few kobolds down in Tuk Tuk recognized me from my past, oddly enough, and I don't really get that very often.
Well, you're something of a star now. Like, a lot of people know who you are.
I mean, yeah, but I was known for a different reason. Before I took my oath, I was kind of a famous chocolate sculptor.
A chocolate sculptor, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I sculpted a lot of chocolate, even chocolate that didn't melt. It was a thing, like, way back then, and
what's your favorite creation?
My favorite creation was probably the 1-to-1 size crocodile.
That sounds incredible. Hiori, that's amazing. I didn't. You see, a lot of adventurers have these like hidden talents that Bartholomew just does not really. I don't think he like appreciates enough. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He just needs jobs done, and these hidden talents. I mean,
they're just
that's
waiting.
okay, right?
Yeah, they're just waiting for their opportunity to really shine.
I mean, really, who's gonna ask me to sculpt them a chocolate block?
Yeah. Well, Hiori, I'm sure maybe you can get an opportunity to do that this session. Probably not, but who knows? Welcome back, and I hope you have a great adventure.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
And of course, last but certainly not least, Sotaria Avenia. Sotaria, how are you?
I'm alright.
Sotaria, I know one of your main goals in joining the adventuring company was to really make that good money. Has it really been paying off?
Oh. Now that I have a certain artifact that, someone let someone pull out of a bag, I don't believe he actually had it in the bag. I mean, this music box.
Yeah,
this lovely music box.
What have you been? What are some of your favorite things you've been using it for, Sotaria?
Oh, I've been. Let's just say, there's a lot of crowns that's been missing in Ag. He doesn't know what happened to him. He has an abundance of those things.
He just gets a new one made, and you're just like, whoop! So you've just got a huge pile of jewel-encrusted crowns.
Yeah, I got a large thing of jewel-encrusted crowns. Oh yeah, I've been having fun, and all I had to do was introduce a certain birdie priestess to a bunch of heretics.
Oh, well, I'm sure she had a blast. That's not, I mean, a literal blast, huh? Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She had plenty. She has lost some. Yeah. She's happy.
That is wonderful. This seems like a win-win situation. Everyone wins. Mostly.
Well.
So Taria, have you been using this so obviously you've been stealing from the King of Ag. He's a pretty easy target though. Have you been trying like any bigger targets yet, or are you kind of just learning and easing into the capabilities of the music box?
I'm very cautious. I don't want to do anything too fast. I need to learn about this magical artifact, because technically I don't really have magical capabilities, so I don't want
Yeah.
to jump into anything too big just yet.
I mean, that's absolutely
So,
fair enough.
I mean, what good is being a thief if I can live to reap my spoils?
Yeah, no, I totally feel you there. I get that. And I assume your quickling has been put to good work lately.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's okay? We're just gonna leave it
Yeah,
there.
it's very. Yes, again, how many times must I tell you? If I don't go into more detail about it, you don't ask about it, and you don't die.
Welcome back, Sotaria. I hope you have a wonderful adventure this evening. I'm sure you will. And so let's dive into tonight. As our adventure begins, you've all met up in Bartholomew's shop and have been appraised of the mission prior to beginning. Bartholomew's told you, and this is kind of a lowly mission, but he's paid shockingly well. Uh, some ogre lord who lives in a very small, specific corner of the Wilderwood, which is an ancient and primordial forest, has asked you guys to go and pick up a snack for him and bring it to him in his cave. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird. Bartholomew was pretty confused about why he needed 4 powerful adventurers. I mean, you guys aren't kind of those low-level heroes that could have done this. Maybe it's the danger of the Wilderwoad. Apparently, the area in question is called the Land of Giant, whatever that means. But regardless, you've made your way down. The Wilderwoad spans most of the south of the lands of DnDTime, or in the southwest specifically, thickest, and it is an ancient and primeval forest. You've made your way down and entered in from the north, which is a very infrequent trip that most adventurers would take. And so, as you've begun to travel through this forest, the trees are spanning hundreds of feet in the air, massive, thick wooden towers, effectively. Each one an easy, 8 to 15 feet wide. But yeah, you hear the sounds of birds. There's not a lot of like underbrush so much. I mean, there are a few like huge bushes that are around. Have any of you ever been to the Wilderwood before? I don't think any of you have.
The world of what? The road of what? It, I
Uh-huh.
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's a
uh-huh.
place, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
place. It's a big forest. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I've never been here.
Why would I ever come here?
Maybe to drown in your sorrows? It's a great
It
place
makes
to
you
do
feel
that.
so small, just like we all are in the cosmic dance of the universe. God.
I wonder if there will be big spiders.
Well, as you all just kind of you're standing in this this kind of opening area. It's right at the beginning. You've just basically entered into the forest from the north. Everything is just gigantic here. You see up ahead, maybe 30 feet, there's a pine cone that's effectively the size of like a minivan that's just kind of lying off to the side. You look up, there are some of those hanging from one of the trees. And yeah, everything is gigantic here. You haven't seen any real creatures around. I mean, you've seen like a couple few small, like regular sized creatures, like some insects, the occasional little bird flying around, but don't see anything else at the moment. You were told you need to just head into the forest, start to look for signs. What you were told.
What are the chances one of those drops on our head?
If only we could actually earn that sweet release of death.
Well, I mean, I'm not interested in that. I have a kobold to go back to.
I would rather just go back to
Whoa.
my lair and listen to my favorite bard, my physical tragedy.
Whoa, Edgelord, calm down.
Anyway, let's go look for this sign.
I think it's like a literal sign. God.
I bet it was posted.
So yeah, you look around and you don't really see anything at first, and you're walking just kind of it's somewhat of a path, at this first area, or not really a path, but almost there's about 20 or 30 feet of forest where there just aren't trees in like a line, and so you've just been following that for a while, and after maybe half an hour of walking, and looking around, you've noticed every so often, little bits of wildlife, but you haven't seen anything like foxes or small little land dwelling mammals, only kind of insects that could skitter and hide places. But eventually, you come up to, as you expected, a literal sign. It is a big signpost slammed into the dirt. Um, Raises maybe 20 feet, with big pointed sign up at the top that's pointing in a direction. And scratched into the wood of the sign is the word, or the letters, Oagak, Oagak, which is the name of the ogre you're supposed to.
Oh, gack me with a spoon.
I don't think that's what that means.
Boo. Boo.
Part of me wants to try, but another part of me is just quietly telling me, no, Hiori, you can't lift that one.
Do you want to try?
Probably not. I might pull a muscle.
You go over, you're like looking at this big signpost. You're like, "Can I lift this?" No. I mean, the post itself is maybe what 8 to 10 inches long, thick in diameter, and yeah, it spans up pretty high, about 20.
So I think we're supposed to go that way.
Point in the direction the sign's pointing, I assume.
Yes. Deductive reasoning. I don't know. I just feel a little inadequate here. Is this what kobolds feel like?
What are all of your passive perception?
11.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
15.
What was that, Serena?
14?
So Sereina and Sotaria, as Hiori is kind of talking, kind of having this back and forth a little bit with Morgoth, and looking at this huge sign. You two are maybe a little bit more spatially aware of what's going on around you, and both of you notice right about the same time there is a very, very large shape making its way down one of the trees, like crawling along the side. It blends in really well. It's got brown kind of fur to it, camouflage. And Serena, you recognize it as a giant spider. But it is a really giant spider. It's probably at least 15 feet across, plus some leg. It's just a monstrous creature. And it is kind of slowly coming down toward you.
Oh, hi there!
Yeah, Serena, that's your body of expertise. Go have fun.
So Serena,
wait.
you just walk over to the base of the tree and wave at it, basically.
Yeah,
Well, what's going on? What are you waving at?
the spider!
Big giant spider.
There's a... Oh!
Here, if you look over, can you roll me a perception check?
Yeah, hold on.
You still can't see it as they're like pointing up at it. It goes totally still as you say, "Oh, hi there."
Wait,
Well, we've reached the sign. It's about time we've got here. My mascara was starting to run.
what are you talking about with a giant spider? I don't see a spider.
It's so cute!
It's maybe 30 feet up.
Eh.
Anyways, I think we're supposed to go this way. God.
Well, yeah, but these two are off in this other lands.
I'm just going to go in this direction.
Okay, I'll see you in a
Which
bit.
may or may not be in the direction of the spider.
Wait.
It's not. The spider was kind of a little back the way you already walked by this big tree the spider's on. It begins to like slowly creep further down, and Hiori, it's so disorienting because you can't identify its shape, but you see the tree is like moving and it's weird. And I think Sereina, you can tell that it looks like it's prowling, like it's hunting,
What the
and it's
fuck?
coming a little down closer towards you.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Would you like to do anything?
Serena's gonna look around to see if she can find anything to like give the spider to eat.
Well, you look around. There's really not a lot just kind of around here, especially in terms of like food. That like, I mean, you four are probably about the size of a regular meal for this creature. And like, as you haven't really seen any other creatures around besides a couple small birds.
How many birds can Serena see flying around?
I mean, none of them are quite near where you are right now. But like, yeah, in the distance, you've probably seen 30 or 40 birds since you started walking into the forest. You see them every so often. For like a couple minutes, you'll see a bird flit around. There aren't a ton of them.
Hiori's going to very quietly pull out some salmon from her bag and start munching while she's trying to process what the hell she's looking at.
Okay. Sotaria, would you like to do anything?
Oh no, I'm just gonna stand right here and watch and watch the chaos
Like at the base of the tree or further away from
further away.
Okay, so you're like across the little clearing by the sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Serena, would you like to do anything?
Serena is gonna try and communicate with it via like the Endothropian language.
Oh, and what do you want to say to the spider?
You know, if you come along with me, I might be able to find you something to eat that's bigger.
It kind of like jolts a little bit, almost in like a shock or surprise, as you kind of make the horrible clicking, almost like I imagine it's almost like a Slurpee clicking spider thing. Or am I mistaken with that?
No,
No.
that's totally what it is.
Beautiful. And at this point, you totally see it. It's huge. And it seems a little taken back and makes a couple like low clicks. Serena, which implies basically just it implies that this is its territory. It's very bestial. It has a very low intelligence. So it can't really get too much across to you. Let's see, what is its intelligence? Its intelligence is a 2.
Oh,
So it understands just enough. It doesn't say words. It just clicks at you aggressively. Like, this is my territory kind of thing. It might understand what you said, but yeah.
how about I bring something back for you?
Serena, I don't think this is a good idea.
Can you roll me an animal handling or persuasion check? Your choice. The spider hisses at you loudly and angrily. And like it hisses, and you all hear it. It's very loud, and it kind of like takes its big front hairy legs and stomps them against the tree, menacingly.
Serena's gonna like put her hands up and start like slowly backing away.
Okay.
Is that Oagak?
Okay. Yeah, Serena, you back off and the thing like also kind of backs off a little bit. And after you're like a reasonable distance from the tree, it turns around and skitters back up.
I'll bring you food anyways.
Your voice echoes through the open canopies.
Hiori is speechless.
Yeah, this is a really large spider monster.
Weren't
Are
they
you guys
so
fine?
adorable?
Can we go in the other direction now? I
Are you
don't
guys
have
coming?
I don't have a fear of spiders. I do agree they're kind of cute, but that was a little too large and too aggressive for me.
Oh, it's no biggie. They were just, you know. They were just having a party. Yeah.
I think
Okay,
it
I'll
was
accept that.
exactly a biggie. God.
I'll accept the party. We lost Mizro, by the way.
Oh, jeez, thank you for the heads up. All right. So as you begin to head in the direction of the signpost, once again you're following what appears to be something of a path. Trees had been cleared out a long time ago to form this 20 or 30-foot spread where just nothing is growing. And as you're walking through, it's relatively peaceful. There's not really a lot of noise, the occasional bird call, but you're a little bit more on edge on account of the spider that you just ran into. And as you go, you occasionally other giant-sized creatures. The first one that you see is when there's a bird call that just splits your ears, and you look up and maybe 150, 200 feet in the air, there's just a massive bird. Looks like a blue jay, but huge. Just sitting up on one of the tree branches. And it just chirps a couple times and blasts your ears. It's just so loud. Do any of you do anything or just keep traveling?
Let's keep. I vote in favor of keeping moving because I'm pretty sure those things like to dive bomb people.
I don't listen to music this loud.
But
And all
what
this
if I get it
walking-
for the spider?
Yeah, its
The-
size is like as a bird sitting on a branch, it's probably like 9 feet tall. To give you like an idea of its size.
How do you expect to capture that thing?
You know what? I might be able to throw something up at it and knock it out of the tree, but if I miss, we're a little fucked.
I'm not interested in fighting a rock today. God.
Now, children, we have a job to do. We haven't even met our boss.
And all
Let's
this
go.
walking is ruining my eyeliner.
Well, Sotaria, your mission was to bring Oagak a snack. It was to deliver a snack befitting of an ogre lord
Oh,
to the ogre in his cave. So at some point, you guys need to pick up a snack along.
Mm,
fine.
What if,
What
we
if we-
find? What if we find a really large quail?
Hey, Spider Girl. Would you
Yeah.
be able to find a giant web laid by a giant spider?
I could try to. Why?
If we laid a giant bird into a giant web made from a giant spider, we'll have a giant drumstick. Isn't
I like your thinking. Though that would be stealing from the spider then, and I don't know how I feel about that.
You're both spiders. It's communal sharing.
He
Like all of
didn't.
those other conformists.
I
God.
don't think he cared that they were both spiders. And besides, I don't want to fight that either. But if we can get away with it, that might be a good idea.
What do you want to do?
Can Serena look around to see if she can like find any near, like if she can like see any webs?
Yeah, if you want, you can roll me like a survival check to search around. Sotaria, are you also going around and doing that, or do you want to do something else? Well, I'll wait to see if Sotaria wants to do anything. But you're looking around. Oh, Sotaria?
Sotaria is doing the exact same thing they are. It's better
Okay.
not to split the party with a bunch of giant creatures around.
Yeah. So you and Sotaria kind of go out a little bit, being kind of more maybe the stealthier ones of the group on this little reconnaissance. And unfortunately, yeah, you don't find anything. That spider was definitely a like jumping spider. It's like a hunting spider. It's like a tarantula, which is. But yeah, you think that with such gargantuan size, webs might be kind of inefficient, unless there's a lot of gigantic creatures, which you're starting to see more and more and more as you kind of travel through the forest. You see a few more of these giant-sized birds every so often. But the real big one that bothers you, that makes you kind of shiver a little bit, is you see a gargantuan wasp nest kind of hanging from one of the trees. Got to be 50, 60 feet high, hanging about
No.
150, 200 feet in the air.
No.
And as you're kind of distracted by that, you begin to feel a tremor in the. Looking around, you don't really see anything at first, but then up ahead, you see the ground kind of buckling and moving a little bit, like something is tunneling under the ground toward.
Sotaria is climbing up a tree.
Okay, so Taria, you go up to the first tree. So Taria, these trees are about 8 feet wide at the smallest in terms of their diameter. So they are not your normal climbing trees. How are you want to go about getting?
Well, I'm not staying here. I'm going to take my short swords and use them as like pittons to.
Okay, you're gonna try and climb a tree by stabbing it with short swords. Okay. Okay.
I could always make a rope.
That is true. You can just climb if you want.
I opt to climb with Serena, because that would be easier. I don't have two weapons by which I can stab it into a tree and climb up. So
Serena, you're
Is there like a
seeing...
branch
Go ahead.
that's less than 50 feet up that we could like all stand on?
The closest branch is about 40 feet up.
Okay.
And it's like a pretty small branch for a tree line. Actually, it's a pretty huge branch, actually. It's like it's where it splits off a little bit. But yeah, it's about 40 feet up.
Okay, Serena's gonna climb up to the branch and then like put a rope down.
So it takes you your full action to climb up and throw down the rope. Your full turn. Right? Because you have a 30-foot climb?
Yeah.
So Sotaria does that. There's one rope that's hanging down and 3 of you, and that tunneling thing is moving toward you. Hiori, you grab the rope first and try to pull yourself up.
yes, immediately, as fast as possible. I do not want.
Okay, so Serena, you haven't been able to affix the rope to anything yet because it took your whole action to get up there.
Oh God.
I assume it's your spider silk thread is what you're throwing down, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, this is gonna go terribly.
So Hiori, you can just climb using the rope. You get about 15 feet. That being said, Serena, I need you to roll me a probably strength athletics check to hold on to it.
Oof.
And it slips and down you go, losing those 15 feet.
Ah, shit.
You hit up on the ground. Morgoth, you're trying to use short swords to climb up the tree.
Actually, I think I have a better idea.
Okay, I'm interested.
I'm going to take a rope, tie it around an arrow, and shoot it at the tree.
Okay. Now, okay, sure. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with your bow, which I assume you have.
Oh,
You narrowly miss Sereina. Oh, God. That's how this session's gonna go, guys. All right. Your arrow just vroom, goes off in some random direction. It probably doesn't go very far because it's got a rope tied to the end of it, and that generally doesn't work very well.
and then I'm going to try and climb.
Okay, well, that was your action for that turn. So, Taria, how do you want to try and get up? You can just like brute force it, but like that's hard.
I'm a wood elf. I can climb.
I don't think wood elves have a climb speed, actually.
Hold on. You might have something about that. Okay, well.
I think they can hide in the wilderness.
Okay, fine. In that case, if I can't get up there like I really want to,
it's just gonna be a really hard check because the tree's so wide is the problem.
Alright, let's try this then. I'm gonna go and basically, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. He's underground. He could probably sense me anyways. Alright, I'm just gonna try and guess. Go ahead and try and climb up. Uh-huh.
Alright, can you roll me an athletics check? You go over the tree and you're like looking for handholds in the bark and you're trying to make your way up. You get like 5 feet up, you're going real slow. I'll say you get 10 feet because you took your whole turn to go. So Sotaria, you're having a hard time just pulling yourself up the tree, but you're getting somewhere. You're about a quarter of the way. The creature tunnels forward. It's really close. It's probably about 15 feet away from you now, and you can see the earth is like breaking up as whatever it is getting close to the surface. And Hiori, as you hit the ground from the little fall down with the rope, you saw it like move its direction and go like adjust its course more toward you. So it's about 10, 15 feet from you right now. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna grab the shield off of from my fucking back. I'm gonna grab my axe and I'm going to attempt to impale both and brute force climb my way up.
Giant stab. All right, can you roll me an attack roll against the tree?
God damn it.
All right, you make it 2 feet up.
Oh, perfect.
You're slightly off the ground. You're like, no, this is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. So you're trying that. Sereina, do you want to do anything? You still have your spider silk. It's just a bunch of it slipped.
And
you can see below you the thing.
Can I try and fasten the wrist to the branch?
Yeah, you can just do that. You secure it, no problem.
This rope is mine now.
Yeah, you start climbing up. Okay, so you get about 15 feet. Or actually, you could probably get 30 feet if you double move.
I have no other thing to do.
So you're just like, scrambling up. Hiori's trying to climb up the tree with their shield and sword.
This is ruining my eyeshadow.
Sotaria is not far behind, and the creature kind of rolls up, the ground kind of erupting as a gargantuan mole comes out of the ground right next to you, Hiori. You can see its big blind eyes as it makes a horrible screech as, yes, this dire mole attacks you with its bite attack. Now, Hiori, you are above ground currently,
Yes.
so it would normally have disadvantage on the attack.
All right. What's the catch?
Well, the problem is you're dangling from a sword and a shield jammed in a tree.
An axe and a shield.
Yep. So that's going to be a little bit harder. So it's going to try and bite you.
Okay.
As it, oh Jesus, this thing's really scary. It just rolls normally. There's no advantage. Okay, 24 to hit. As it tries to bite you with its giant dire mole teeth.
24? That looks like a 14.
It's a 14. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does a 14 hit you?
No.
All right. The jaws snap tight, narrowly missing you. Actually, like really poorly, not really where you are, as it appears to be blind. And you see it sniffing around, and then it kind of turns to face you, dangling from the tree. All right, we're going to top of the initiative, which is actually it's like a verbal initiative. Sereina, we'll go with you. What do you want to do? You see a gigantic mole poking out of the ground. It's got like bone protrusions growing out of its back. It's huge. It's a big creature.
Sereina is going to take out her bow, cast ensnaring strike, and then try and shoot it.
Okay. Go ahead. You have advantage because it can't see you. You hit him. Alrighty, so you're gonna hit it for how much? 12?
I think so, yeah.
Alright. It rolls a strength saving throw.
Yes.
Gets a 9. Alright. So you hit it for 12 points of damage, and it gets covered in ensnaring kind of, I imagine it's like webs for you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Gets coated in webs and begins like screeching and kind of swinging its claws around wildly. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Sereina?
I think that's everything.
Excellent. We're now on to Sotaria and let's go Sotaria.
Where exactly am I, being that I kind of got kicked out due to the
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. You're about 20 feet up the tree, actually. You're like, okay. You see about 20 feet below you, a really huge dire mole attempting to maul your dragonborn friend.
Okay, let's see. Can I shoot at one of... I guess I'm going to take my longbow, and I'm going to shoot at one of its paws.
Well, the problem with that is you're still hanging off the tree.
Oh, I'm still hanging up the tree? Okay.
Yeah.
In that case...
Actually, what's your speed
okay,
as a wood elf?
Huh?
What's your speed as a wood elf? Is
35.
35? Yeah, actually, you could just climb to the top, to the branch where Sereina is. I forgot you were faster.
Alright, I'm going up.
Yeah, alright, so you just
All right,
climb up to the
I'm
top
up.
just using your movement. You still have an action. I forgot you were
Okay,
quicker.
in that case... Okay, in that case, I'm longbowing it. I'm aiming
Alright.
for whatever... I'm aiming wherever pod is about to swipe or whatever.
Ah, gotcha. You're shooting for its claws. Go ahead and make your attack with advantage. You'll absolutely hit with the 24. You take out your longbow and strike it for another 8. You see the creature cry out in pain as you kind of stab its squishy mole body with your arrow. It doesn't look pretty happy at all. Is there anything else?
Before I'm ending, we are all in understanding that if we kill this thing, this is what we're bringing back to. This is the snack, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure we all in agreement to this. Let's go.
All right. Our next in the initiative order is Morgoth. What would you like to do, Morgoth?
Going to climb up to the top of the tree.
Okay.
And
that
then-
would take more than one move action from you, unfortunately.
I'm already 30 feet up.
Oh, right, and I said it was only 40 feet. So yeah. Move action. You're also up on the branch. Hiori is the only one down below with the mole.
Then I'm going to move 10 feet over towards the edge of the branch.
Okay.
And I'm going to take out my diary.
Oh, okay. And you're gonna contemplate life.
Dear
the
diary,
universe.
today I made a
Not now.
And I'm going to primarily to try and disorient it with sound.
Yeah, as you contemplate reality in your diary, the the dire mole can't help but understand the darkness in your soul. And what's the saving throw? Wisdom?
Correct.
It fails and takes 11 necrotic damage. And the dire mole dies. Collapses in the ground.
Dear
Ensnaring
diary,
web.
today a mole died.
Hiori,
Okay, never
it's your
mind.
turn.
You can keep writing in your diary.
The mole is right next to you. It had just like reached out to swipe at you with the claws, and it seems like it's dead.
Okay. I'm gonna drop from the tree now that it's
You're
dead.
only 2 feet up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just drop to my feet and kind of fucking look at it and be like, okay then.
Yeah, it's a squishy mole.
We don't talk about that to Dakar. None of that happened.
You see, its like claws and teeth are huge, but like its body is just it's like a mole. It's squishy and fleshy, and yeah, it got messed up real easily.
I think it's time for all of us to go down. Everyone grab a corner of the web and we pull.
Real fast.
But shouldn't we get something for this spider to move through its territory?
Yeah, while we're talking about this, Hiori's gonna put her shield back on her back, except this time she's gonna rebox her. Yeah, she's gonna repack her battle axe and pull out her greatsword again.
Okay.
So the shield's kind of just there if she needs to surf on it or something.
Mm-hmm.
It is no longer applying the AC bonus.
Yep.
Dear mole, you now understand what true suffering is.
And as you're kind of climbing down, so you guys are climbing down from the branch.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So as Sotaria, you're the first one down because you're probably the closest to the web at that point. So you climb down, no problem. And Morgoth, as you're about halfway through climbing down, by the way, Sereina, no signs of giant spider in this tree. As you're about halfway down, you guys begin to hear like a whistling sound echoing through the forest. Just like a person whistling. Except it's very loud and it's kind of deep. And then you feel the ground shake again.
What is this place?
Do you stop and climb back up, or do you continue climbing down?
I'm staying down.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the rest of my companions.
Down and behind the tree.
I'm not gonna climb. I'm gonna look over.
Also, try and drag the mole behind the tree.
Okay. So you guys grab onto the mole. It weighs about 1,000 pounds.
Once everybody is down, can I like untie the rope and then like bring it down with me and like tie it around the mole so that it's easier to pull?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely
It's still already covered in webs.
Tie a noose around its neck.
I mean, gruesome but effective.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's already dead though, so...
Yeah, but I can just heave it.
I mean, it's this giant mole was probably like 10 feet long and a solid 6 or 7 feet wide. Like it could have swallowed you, Hiori. But you're still hearing this like whistling, and it kind of starts into like a little jaunty tune, except it's like a deep jaunty tune. It's like going to dig and run, I'm finding mushrooms today. Gonna find them in the forest, 'cause that's the halfling. Just kind of echoing through, and you guys hear this these footfalls, and you see it doesn't seem to notice you, but you all see maybe 100 feet down the path what looks like a giant halfling kind of stride out of the forest. They have a giant size like basket slung over one shoulder and some garden tools, and they seem to be looking around by the base of trees and in some of the giant shrub. They stand maybe 25 feet tall, but they have like the proportions of a halfling, so they're kind of squat, and they're kind of dressed like, typical halfling farmers would dress.
Something is very wrong.
Maybe he can like help us.
That's the biggest halfling I ever.
Yeah, would anyone like to?
I'll do it. I'm going. I'll go.
So you're gonna
Has to
try
be
and
sim-
sneak up to the halfling?
No, I'm just gonna walk up to him.
Okay. So you
He's
start-
too busy being happy. I don't think
Yeah.
he's being hostile.
He's super distracted. He's like picking up mushrooms and things and placing them into his little basket, which you can see a giant like kind of white and red kind of checkered, almost like lining to the basket, like napkin cloth or something poking off the sides of it. Yeah, he's collecting mushrooms in the forest. And of course, these mushrooms are almost the
Excuse
size of
me.
you. Okay. What are the rest
Excuse
of
me.
you doing if Sotaria
Sir?
does this? Are you all
I'm-
poking your heads around a tree watching, like some ways away, or what?
Nah, I'm gonna follow her.
Okay.
Like I
So
said,
you're like a
I'm
little further.
hiding behind a tree.
Okay. And Serena?
Serena is gonna climb back up the tree so she has a better view.
Excellent. So you're like at probably you're a little above head level for this halfling. Halfling's about 25 feet tall. You're 40 feet up. So you're like within arm's reach, but just barely. But you're way up the road, 100 feet up the road from him. So you walk up to him, Sotaria, and get his attention. He goes, "Oh! Do me eyes deceive me?" He kind of like blinks a couple of times real hard and looks down at you. He seems befuddled. Oh,
Did I hear? No offense, but we're here on a mission we're Bartholomew's Adventures, and did I understand you right when you were singing that you are a halfling?
a woodland fairy! That's incredible! Come, fairy! Come back to the town! And he kind of reaches out toward you, Sotaria.
Can I jump back?
You can make a dexterity saving throw if you'd like.
Yes, but could you roll it for me?
Yes,
Kinda got my-
not a problem. I know roll 20 can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, you got a 25. So you just nimbly duck back, no problem. Whoa. And he misses.
No offense, sir, but I don't like to be touched. Not to mention, you probably don't realize your own strength.
Oh, and he sees you coming up behind Hiori, also kind of charging up the middle. Oh, another one. This one a dragon. Oh, what an honor to be visited by so many woodland spirits.
Woodland
Oh,
spirit.
Sir,
I
we're
don't-
not.
Oh,
Oh, we lost her again.
he
Sir,
kinda,
we're not fairies. We're Bartholomew's
He
Adventure.
gets down on like one knee to look at you, and his knee just the ground shakes around you. He's huge, very large. Oh. Bartholomew's Adventure.
Yeah, Perhaps.
Nonsense. You're far too small to be Bartholomew's adventures.
We could show you the Bartholomew cards.
He kind of looks at you like, I don't know what those are.
Okay.
Will you come back with me to my town? If
As
you both
long
came back, no one will believe that I saw woodland spirits otherwise.
I make one condition, you don't touch any of us. Well, I suppose we could come back with you, but as long as you don't, get grabby or handsy or something like that. Because you're kind of large, and if we are, in fact, fairies, you might...
I know how you woodland spirits go. All with your tricksy plans and thoughts. And he kind of puts the basket down, and it shakes. The basket itself is probably about 30, or probably about 20 or 15 feet long, 10 feet wide. And he starts to like look over to it. He's keeping an eye on you. So he's like reaching into the basket looking for something. Sotaria, Hiori, would you two like to do anything?
I would like to step back just a little bit so he can't grab me,
Okay.
first thing.
Would Serena be able to look into the basket?
Oh yeah, Serena, from where you are, you can see into the basket. Absolutely, because you're 40 feet up. Yeah, you can see that it's filled with mushrooms and things. But there's also what looks like a giant mason jar, and that's what he's reaching for.
Uh-oh.
Guys, get back!
You scream, run!
Yeah.
Okay. Hiori, what do you want to do? Do you keep back? Do you run? Do you just turn and book? Or do you just continue cautiously backing up?
I'm gonna kind of cautiously back up.
Okay.
I don't need to turn tail and run entirely, but I need to get distance.
Sotaria?
Sotaria's running.
Whoa! Books past you, Hiori, and the dire halfling goes, no, and reaches over quickly with a sudden burst of speed. Comes back, the jar in his hand, and he looks down toward you, Hiori, and you can see he's right on you. He's maybe 10 feet away from you. He goes, oh, little fairy, and he takes the lid off. I'm sorry, but I can't let you be getting away. No one will believe. And he's kind of squared off with you. Took his action to take the top off the jar. What would you like to do?
That'll be the day.
Okay.
First, I'm gonna vow of enmity.
Okay.
I ain't getting captured against my own fucking will.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna vow of enmity, and then I'm going to run completely behind him.
Okay, are you trying to run under his legs or around him? Because he's big.
I'm gonna run between his legs. That way he doesn't have an exact sightline on me, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna try not to get stepped on.
Okay. All right, so that was that. Sotaria ran. Actually, we're kind of at the new initiative here. So is that the end of your turn, Hiori?
You know what? Can I chop him in the ankles?
If you want to attack him.
I mean,
sure.
he's trying to capture me.
Yeah, very clearly.
And I ain't gonna be captured. That's not very dignifying, and I would rather not.
Okay. Yeah, you'll hit him.
Alrighty.
Oh god. He goes, God! He yells out in pain as your axe embeds itself in his Achilles tendon, and blood just goes everywhere.
Oh, Jesus.
and he screams. He drops the jar, which doesn't shatter. Seems like it's made of very, very thick glass. All right. What about the rest of you? What would you all like to do? We'll start with you, Sotaria. You were running.
Misra's gone.
Oh, we lost Misra again. All right, Misra, welcome back. So your friend just took a chunk out of the leg of this dire halfling with their battle axe, just slamming into the poor halfling's heel that's walking around bare feet. Would you like to do anything, Sotaria, or do you want to keep running?
I really didn't want to attack him, but at the same time...
Well, he already attacked him at this point, but you can just keep running if you'd like.
No, I'd better help,
Okay.
or someone might get squashed. So I take out that dagger of venom.
Uh-huh.
No wait. There's no part from this close to me right now. It's not. So I'm just going to longbow it again. Never mind. I'm a longbow it again.
Okay, you were only about 30 feet from him, or actually, probably 60 feet. So yeah, okay. Take out your longbow and you fire. Are you aiming for anywhere in particular, or just shooting him chest, center mass?
Yeah, shooting at any fleshy bitch I can get my hand on.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack. Or do you need me to roll that for you?
No, I got it.
Excellent. All right, a 12 hits him. He is wearing, thick clothing, but not that thick. All right, 10 piercing damage. You shoot him, and the arrow kind of catches him in the neck, and he goes, no! And he seems to be flailing. He's having a hard time. He's in pain. Morgoth, would you like to do anything?
Dear Diary, today we murdered an innocent halfling for his mushroom.
We're not murdering him.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Go ahead. That'll hit. His AC is with his heavy cloth. Yeah, your bolt of fire comes whirling out of your diary across the battlefield and slams into his shoulder, which his clothing sets on fire. He goes, oh my gosh! Oh, I made it terrible. Oh. And he's freaking out. Would you like to do anything? Oh my goodness. Sereina?
Sereina is gonna, she's not sure if this is gonna work, but she's gonna cast Ensnaring Strike and just shoot him with her longbow.
Uh-huh. That'll hit. Okay. You will absolutely for that another 13 damage. Holy moly. All right, he goes as the ensnaring strike envelops him. Does it have a size limit to ensnaring strike, or is it just the creature is restrained? Because I'm unfamiliar with the spell. Or I'm not 100% familiar. I obviously know the spell. Let's see. Yeah, a large or larger creature has advantage on the save. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
So he's just got advantage on his saving throw here, which he gets a 22. So he's not ensnared, but he does take 13 damage, and he looks grievously wounded. He's like, ah! Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I think that's everything.
Okay. He is going to flail around in terrible pain, knocking over his basket. Giant mushrooms kind of bounce around and get scattered everywhere. And he is going to wildly kick at you, Hiori. So he goes kick. Oh, God. 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits me.
All right, you take 20 bludgeoning damage and get knocked back 30 feet as he punts you and begins booking into the forest, just abandoning his mason jar and basket, which is now tipped over, and everything. Hiori, can you just roll me a D100 to see if you hit a tree in that 30 feet of being knocked back? Yeah, you're good. No trees. You just narrowly miss hitting some large trees that you know would have hurt, and instead just kind of tumble onto the ground. All right, so he books it at a shocking speed. He runs 50 feet into the as we move to the top of the initiative. Hiori, what do you want to do? You're 80 feet away from him currently and prone.
I'm gonna stand up
Okay.
and check if all of my parts are still with me.
Yeah, you're good.
Did someone get the license plate?
Excellent. Sotaria, would you like to do anything?
Nope, I'm letting him run away. We do
Yeah.
not have time for this.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, the fairies! And he seems terrified. Morgoth or Sereina?
Can I see him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's very big. No, currently, though, if you're just at the base of that tree back there, he's now 150 feet from you.
I'm going to run forward 30 feet.
Okay.
Dear diary, today I didn't leave witnesses.
Oh my god. Ugh. Go ahead and roll your attack. Okay, if you
Does
attempt to roll.
Get any cover?
Yeah, he definitely has cover. He's got probably half cover because he's so huge, he doesn't have 3/4.
Dear diary, today I left no witnesses.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well, there's a explosion around his head level, and there's a loud as he dies.
Spider friend!
Oh my god. The spider friend is like an hour back along the trail.
Isn't he lucky? Isn't he lucky? He can experience the
this is
sweet release
bad.
of death.
Hiori's gonna.
This is bad when I'm in a team who's more murder hobo than I am.
So he's just lying there. This gigantic halfling is just dead in the middle of the trail.
Well, we have
Oh, I'm
a
sorry, 50 feet
mole
off the trail.
and some mushrooms to deliver.
Hiori's
Shall we?
Hiori's gonna stand up and very injured looking trudge her way back to the party, dragging her greatsword behind her.
He just limps back into frame.
She's been bleeding out of her mouth.
Nose is broken. Can I just crack that back the right way?
Yeah. It was not a very graceful tumble.
So what are you doing now?
We have mushrooms and a mole to drag to Oagak.
What about the halfling?
I don't think he'd be interested in eating that.
I mean, the spider,
I think we should feed it to my spider friend.
That halfling can't weigh less than like 10 tons.
I was about to say, you guys really think we can move that?
I mean, I can see if the spider wants to come here.
We can cut off an arm or two.
That's a good idea.
I mean, like, you can cut off a couple of fingers, and that would probably feed your spider.
Okay, I'm gonna walk.
Just walk it off.
Hiori's gonna walk over to the halfling and attempt to lop off his fingers.
It takes a couple swings, but you do it.
With her greatsword. And she's going to...
I guess I don't need to roll any more death saves for him. He's dead. You cut off his fingers.
And she's gonna drag the parts back.
So you have you come back dragging 2 bloody fingers behind you, but these fingers are about the size of you.
We have a mole, some mushrooms, and 2 hot dogs.
You know what? I'm okay with calling them hot dogs. I've lost my appetite.
Oh, Sotaria. Can you
You
roll for
had
me a
one?
perception check?
Okay. Great fun. Oof.
I think because it's you definitely heard like a jingle of a coin purse as as the halfling collapsed. But like a really loud, big jingle. It's not more like clanging.
She almost forgot her true nature because she's around so many murderers, and she forgot the fact that she is a
Uh-huh.
is a thief through and through. So
Of
she goes
course.
over and goes raise the body.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So he has a little coin pouch that he had tied to his belt. You probably saw it
Yeah,
before.
this little coin pouch is probably about the size of her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could fit in it. And you cut it open because trying to untie that knot is absurd. And inside of it, there are about. I'm gonna roll a d12 to see how many coins. There are 4 coins, and they're all gold pieces. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, these coins are probably 3 feet wide, like they're 3 feet in diameter, and probably a solid 5 or 4 inches thick. Just huge, kind of like circles of gold.
Okay, I'm going to at this time hide bury those in a little, little shower grave,
Okay.
so no one comes and gets
Sure.
those. Nothing major, just something I can go and get them later, because I'm gonna have to get Jade to help me with these things.
Yeah, and you're digging your hole, and you come across a giant earthworm, which thankfully is not dangerous to you. But I mean, this is a giant-sized earthworm. It's maybe like the size of like an alligator or something. But you just kind of like bat it with your. I imagine you have like a little folding shovel. You bat it away, and it kind of looks back into the dirt. And yeah, you bury these 4 giant gold coins for later. What do the rest of you do?
Because there's no way I'm carrying.
Sorry.
There's no way I can carry them now.
Okay. So we had Hiori getting the fingers. We had Sotaria getting the gold. Morgoth and Sereina. And Morgoth, it sounded like you were looking at the basket, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Inside the basket, you find there's a bunch of these mushrooms. There's also what looks like a chunk of bread, albeit this chunk is 4.5, 5 feet wide. It's like the back end of like a baguette or something. Like it was just torn off, but of course it's gigantic. It's surprisingly light, but also surprisingly heavy. It's like light for its size, but you don't think of bread as a heavy thing. But you can carry it. That was also in there amongst all the mushrooms.
I'm going to load the mole into the basket so that we could just pull the basket.
You're gonna need someone to help you with the mole. The mole's very heavy.
Hey, Sereina.
Hiori will actually assist as well.
Okay.
She's like,
Also,
"Little
throw
beat
the
up."
hot dogs in the basket as well.
Yeah, she's gonna throw the hot dogs in the basket before assisting. She's a little beat up, but she's got 18 strength. She can help here.
Okay. Sounds good. You want to
Yeah,
just?
you guys handle that. I'm not very strong. I'm nimble, but I'm not strong.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fine. Really.
Sereina, was there anything else you wanted to do, or were you pretty good at this point? With what's
I
going
mean,
on?
Serena's good, but a giant Lucy comes out of a random bush carrying a bird in its mouth.
Oh, excellent. just like a normal sized bird.
Yeah, just a normal-sized bird. Lucy hadn't been on the adventure the entire time.
Yep. Just been
She'd
hunting.
just been off hunting.
Beautiful. Lucy kind of scuttles into frame. I imagine just spiders totally purr, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, just like purring, drops the little this striking blue jay at your feet, like all proud.
Serena's gonna like lean down and like pet her.
She obviously like purrs and like cuddles up against her.
I have a realization.
Uh-huh.
Wait, actually, first I need to realize it. Is that the same blue jay that we saw on the tree?
No, this is a small one. This is like a regular size.
But
It's
you
a
s-
chick.
You said it was striking.
Yeah, striking coloration.
Okay, so it's a blue jay. Never mind. No
Yep, that's all.
realization.
Nope, you're good.
Hiori's gonna attempt to start dragging this massive basket with a mole and 2 hot dogs in it. Trying not
Throw any of
to.
the mushrooms back in.
You know what? We're
Correct.
adding some mushrooms. We're gonna cook an entire meal, except for the hot dogs. We're gonna
Okay, so I
cook
guess-
this. We're gonna cook this ogre a full meal.
Beautiful. All right, so you start dragging it, and like at first you're like, oh, this is never gonna work, but then it starts to work, and you're not going fast, but you're making an acceptable pace. Seems like it's not too bad to drag. And so you begin to travel on. Your treasures hidden in various things. As you continue along this path, you come across a second sign, which is just kind of reaffirming. This one doesn't point in any direction. It's just a big, scary-looking sign. It's like got like a skull and crossbones etched into it, and it says Oagak's territory. And territory is spelled wrong. So, yeah. And it's the letters are like in the wrong order and upside down and things. And yeah, you're making your way. After a little while longer, you notice a couple of different creatures. Let me know if you guys would like to stop for any of them. But you see, as you pass through like a large clearing where there are some gigantic flowers, a giant hummingbird, maybe 100, probably 300 feet away. It's pretty far off. Buzzing at some flowers. You guys
You
care
know
about the
what
giant
I've
hummingbird?
learned? Everything in here is a pushover. Who wants to go hunting?
I wouldn't say that.
Do you remember when I got kicked nearly into a tree? If you would like to go hunt, that's perfectly fine with me, but I just want to get this delivery over so I can lay down in a nice bed.
I can't ruin my makeup anymore. Let's just go.
You leave by you pass by the giant hummingbird. Your path kind of comes close to it at one point, maybe within like a couple 100 feet, or probably within 100 feet, and you can hear the buzzing of its wings, and it's cacophonous how loud it is, and you're 100 feet away from it, so it's kind of like, oh boy, what? It hurts your ears to like think of, like, you can't help but imagine the pain of actually being close to this giant creature. But you push past, ignoring it, leaving it be as it buzzes from giant flower to giant flower. And next, you pass through a large, kind of marshy area in this field, and it's huge. I mean, it goes for like a couple of miles, but you see the giant trees of the Wilderwood encompassing this huge marsh. And again, your path just goes right through on top, right through it, nice and safe and solid. But you see gigantic geese kind of just honking and walking around in the marsh. Do you guys care at all about those? Or you just keep going?
No, those are
We're
too
keeping
aggressive for
going.
my test. Let's
Geese
see.
are evil.
Yeah, let's just keep fucking moving. I don't want to deal with this.
Okay. And after you pass through there's about an hour more of travel through the forest before you come to a huge, like, it begins to get rocky, and it gets really hard to like pull the basket. You have to like shift it on rocks to get it up. but you come to a huge cave opening in like a large hillside that you've been slowly moving. And yeah, just scratched into the wall, into the stone, is the name Oagak's Cave.
I get on the rim of the basket.
Okay, you climb up on the rim of the basket.
And then I cook the food.
We lost Misery again.
Okay, so you're gonna lean over into the basket and try and cook it. You're gonna cook the food. Okay, sure.
Maybe
How
a
are you gonna do
smell. I just did it.
Okay, what? Oh, you just set it all on. Okay. You guys see Morgoth climb up the side of the basket and unleash a wave of fire into the
Dear
basket.
diary, today I cooked for a giant.
Don't burn it.
You guys smell burning. It seems like the little checkered cloth that I mentioned earlier that was lining the basket is on fire.
Oh no.
You're looking down to Morgoth and you see it slowly becoming an inferno in this wicker basket.
Oh no. Kick the basket over. Let's get all the shit out before it burns.
All right, can you roll me a strength athletics check to try and flip the basket over? It is 15 feet long and 10 feet wide, despite being a
I'm
giant
helping.
wicker basket. Okay, yeah. So, Morgoth, what are you doing, by the way?
I mean, I'm trying to cook it.
All right. So, how are you doing that? Are you like climbing in and like rotating the mushroom?
Actually, can I go ahead and say that I don't burn the cloth?
What's it say? Oh, I see. An evocation wizard, right? You get to exclude certain things from your spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I think what happens is, yeah, you don't burn the cloth or anything.
We lost Misery again.
And oh gosh, Discord.
Oh no.
All right,
That's
all right,
not
we're
what we
good.
wanted.
Discord's chaotic. So yeah, I think what happens is you guys smell this like fire and you watch the fire and you're like, oh god, you freak out. Sotaria, you like help Hiori up. Hiori, you grab onto like the actual handle of this giant basket and flip it over. Morgoth, you like fall on the ground because you were just on the basket. And as you look inside, it was just the smell of the food cooking. And you see some well-cooked mushrooms and a kind of charred, a little bit dire mole that you
Wait, but
some slightly croutony bread and and some burned burned giant halfling fingers.
Hey, Oagak, we got you some food.
Oagak's not there. There's just like he's got like a dumb ogre face etched into the rock. He's in his cave somewhere, presumably.
Well, the smell, I'm hoping, like, draws him out.
Okay.
let's
I'm not
The
going in an
basket
ogre cave. I
complimentary.
refuse to go into a giant ogre cave. He needs to come out.
okay.
Serena, you doing anything as this all goes down? Or are you just watching amusedly?
Serena's just gonna be watching on the sidelines.
Okay. You notice there are definitely like a handful of spiders, like not giant spiders, but you know, good-sized critters, probably about the size of Lucy actually, about the size of like a giant wolf spider that are hanging around by this cave, inside.
If she sees other spiders, she's gonna be like cooing over them then.
Okay, you just go over to them, and at first they're like kind of scared. A couple of them would be like a little predatory, but like as soon as you like start to chitter to them in your spider tongue, or your Therian tongue rather, they totally warm up to you. And you guys see in horror, it looks like your friend is being swarmed and devoured by spiders, but really they're just giving you licks, and you know they all want to cuddle. But to the rest of you, yeah, it looks like Sereina has been engulfed by giant wolf spiders.
Sotara's not paying that any attention because
Okay.
she knows Serena's a little bit weird, and she goes to the mouth of the cave and basically holler, "Hey, delivery! Your food's here. Come out and get it."
She's okay, right?
She's fine.
Serena, your voice echoes. I'm not Serena. Sotaria, your voice echoes, and it was just after I think Morgoth was also yelling the same kind of thing into the cave. And for a minute, there's nothing, and then there's a loud another footfall, and a huge hulking figure approaches the front of the cave. I mean, this monstrous ogre, 40, 50 feet tall. It's hard to like precisely tell from where you are, just lumbers forward. He's dragging behind him what appears to be a gargantuan flail of some kind. It's basically a long wooden post with some monstrous iron chains and rocks affixed to the end of them. And it stomps forward, wearing little more than a giant brown loincloth. And it wears looks like a shoddily made gigantic wooden crown. Probably made it for himself, you think? The points aren't like even like level or anything. It looks like it was done by a but it's huge. I mean, it's absolutely gargantuan.
Dear
And he looks
Dire,
down.
today I regretted looking up.
This
You're the adventurers to deliver my
Yeah.
meal.
It's
Yes.
over there.
The basket is complimentary.
He kind of like grins, and you can see he's like black teeth filled with viscera and filth. He's like looking at you all hungrily, and then he looks over the basket. And he kind of like stumbles. He doesn't stumble, but he like waddles forward, like a little intrigued, and looks in. Oh, you brought me real food.
Yes.
I was just gonna eat you. And he kind of like taps his head, and you hear the echo from his like hollow skull.
I kind of figured that was going to be the case.
Oagak real smart, but even more smart, real food. He grabs the basket and looks in. What this? He kind of like holds one of the mushrooms and squishes it. Look like poop.
Eat it.
It's
Small
Eat
one.
it. It's
They
roughage. It's
convinced
good
me
for you.
eat poop.
It's not poop. It's roughage. You need it. Make ogre big and strong.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage. Oh, you elf! Elf, smart. Smart brains, yes. He takes a bite of it.
Yes, me smart brains. You eat roughage.
He like chews it like open mouth, just nom, nom. And like chunks of mushroom like are falling down, and they like harmlessly bounce off you and stuff.
She whispers to everyone else, "Guys, get ready. I have a feeling this is not going to be enough to fill him up."
What this bread? Bread weak like baby. He grabs the bread and chomps down on it, and you hear like a crack, and you look up, and it wasn't the bread, like the bread broke, but one of his teeth also didn't. He goes, bread good, crunchy bread. He chomps it a couple times. Oh, hot dogs! And he reaches into the basket and grabs one of the fingers. I love hot dogs. Okay. You did good. I know eat you today. Come back tomorrow when I'm hungry again. Takes a bite of one of the dire halfling fingers.
Actually, if it makes you feel any better about how far is that the rest of that thing halfling?
Actually, we could just cut it up and like come here every day and milk him for
Do
money.
you really want to do that?
He kind of scratches his butt. And like flecks of dirt and maybe other stuff fleck off of his body.
I'm
Dried
repeating.
filth.
Do you really want to do that? This is an ogre. Do you know how you know how ogres are, don't you?
Easy money.
Yeah. If you can come back by yourself. I don't like
I'll go
holding you
get
over.
your money. And he stomps away.
Yeah,
He
but
didn't
ogre could
even
also
eat the
change
mole.
You know
ogre could
what?
also change his mind.
That just means we can bring the mole
And
to
then-
the spider.
A few minutes later, he comes back. Okay, here you go. And he just kind of like throws a crumpled fistful of gargantuan Bartholomew bucks at you. They're huge. I mean, the buck is the size of you. And yeah, they just kind of flutter to the ground.
Since when did Bartholomew issue them in this size?
I don't know, but I'm gonna make that old man pay for this.
All right. And he goes, "Oh, you can keep them all.
All right then.
It's gross."
I wish I had something to keep for the car, but this will do just fine.
And he goes, "Okay, you live now. Bye." And he
Okay.
goes and stomps back into his little hut, or his little cave, rather. And so,
Is it possible for us to go back to the very nicely cooked body of the halfling and cut off more fingers?
oh,
So I
the
can
halfling
take
is
them?
not nicely cooked.
Oh,
No, the halfling is not.
The halfling's like face is burned.
well, can I cut off some fresh fingers and cook those later?
You could.
I would like to go back, retrieve those fingers, find the spider, and offer the mold to the spider.
So,
Bartholomew, beam me up, please.
Sotaria waits to be teleported. The rest of you gather up your possessions. These Bartholomew bucks, the bundle of, I think at this point you're each getting what? How many Bartholomew bucks?
300.
300? Oh no, 200. So you're each of you get your bundle of 200 Bartholomew bucks. In that size, it weighs about 60 pounds. To carry that like big stack of 300 Bartholomew bucks. But you know, you pile them up, you maybe like roll them up and like stuff them in a backpack and begin the long trek back. Sereina, you and Hiori get some snacks along the way for the spider at the beginning, who graciously accepts them. Look, you've gotten a lot of practice talking with the spiders, Sereina, and everything kind of goes well. And yeah, eventually you all find your way back to Bartholomew's shop, both richer in money and also in experience, as you've completed this adventure. Congratulations, guys.
Dear Diary, today I was a scene kid.